Onekani poa Pauline leo.
What do you mean? Layout.
Yeah, the layout. Yeah.
Okay, done.
Now
It's
we are live,
better
yeah?
now. So iko sawa.
Yeah.
So let's wait. We have someone who has already joined. Oh, it's you. So let's see. Let me see if I'll be able to. So let me ask you, how do you want? I'm gonna give you the chance to talk, and if there's a question, I'm only going to help you with questions. Like if I see any question that you're missing, right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's wait. Let's give them like 1 minute and then see if anyone will show up. I can see we are 3 people now. So those who are joining, just like the live, share, and then comment where you're watching from. So let me, Merengogi. You see, Maria, thank you for joining. That was so punctual. That was so punctual. So you guys, where are you watching from? As we wait for other people to join, maybe 1 minute, you can tell me where you're watching from, and please give this video, give the live like it. It helps a lot, and share if you can before we start. Share if you can before we start. Into that, if you can do that. I can see Blessed Francie. Hi. Margaret Leo. Today. So I can also see she from Kenya. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I guess when we are like 15, we can start. What do you think? Official. So you guys, you're welcome. Kama kawaida. Kama kawaida. Hi, MD Photography. Actually, MD Photography is the one who does my logo and also intro videos. So you're welcome, guys. I don't know where official is, so hopefully you'll come back. Meanwhile, just tell me where you're watching from. Like the video. Actually, nobody who have liked this live. Okay, join, una like live, you share if you can, and then we're good to go. So let me let him in. Hopefully he'll come back. Hi, Kagani from Kenya.
So hey
Are you good?
guys. Yeah,
We
I'm
can't
good.
hear you. We
You
can't
can't.
hear
Now
you.
can you hear me?
Sorry?
Now can you hear me?
Yeah, but your voice is still like we can hear you from afar.
Now, what about now?
Let me see. Maybe it's my AC that's making me not to hear you. You guys, can you hear him? If you can hear him, just comment there.
The worst part is I can't see any chat message at the moment. Today I can't see anybody in the chat
Oh my
comment.
God, there's someone who is asking me how to comment. So I don't know. Yeah, the person who has sent me a message on just make sure you're watching the live, like you click on it. Don't watch it from afar for you to be able to comment. So Festus the poet is saying they can hear you loud and clear. Live
Yeah.
from DXB. So you guys are welcome. So I guess we can start because we have exactly 1 hour. and after 1 hour wrap up everything. So guys, first we're gonna listen and learn, and then we'll have question and answer. But meanwhile, you can still ask your question and I'll highlight it for Official Positive Vibe, and then he'll be able to answer them. So Official, you're welcome.
So as always, for me, I always love starting with the fun facts. So this is one of the most beautiful countries that you can actually visit. Okay.
Okay.
And this country is very special to me because it's a very small country, but the country with the second highest or second best GDP in the world.
Okay.
I'm sure you didn't know that, right? About
Yeah,
Luxembourg.
I didn't know.
So we are talking about Luxembourg in this case. And it is one of the safest countries, by the way. And it is one of the countries where you actually can earn a lot. Its minimum wage is quite high, okay? And it is actually the country with the best or the highest minimum wage in the EU, okay? When I'm talking about EU, it's just the European Union, okay? So, without further ado, I'm sure most of us just want to delve right in. We want to jump right in from being bored by the fun facts about Luxembourg. So in Luxembourg right now they actually have a shortage of workers, okay, and the only most important factor to know, the only fun fact that is actually might actually puzzle your mind is in Luxembourg they actually speak 3 languages, okay? So they speak French, German, and they have their own language which is known as Luxembourgish, okay? They have their own language, okay?
I didn't know that.
Then the beauty about it is they actually employ people who actually speak English. I'm sure that is why we're actually here today, to learn how maybe we can actually all migrate to Luxembourg, okay? And actually some employers have special incentives for international foreign workers who actually can speak English. And it does not mean that if they have 3 languages that they do not speak English. Most of the Luxembourg people or citizens actually speak English. But they also speak French and German because it is neighbored by, it's actually a neighbor to those 2 great countries. Then, number 1, so what are the ways to actually move to Luxembourg?
Before you
Number 1, you
continue,
can
I have
move.
a question.
Yes.
So do we need a language certificate to go and work in Luxembourg?
Thank you for the interesting question.
Okay.
So you'll find that most employers, as I had actually said, most employers actually speak English, okay? And they are actually looking for people who can actually speak fluent English, okay? And it would not actually hurt for you to actually have some proficiency either in German or in French, okay? Remember, we are trying to put our best foot forward whenever you're actually doing an application in Luxembourg, okay? So let me just give an ideal situation. Let's say me and you, we are actually applying for the same job. For me, maybe I actually just speak English. For you, you actually speak English and German and maybe a little bit of some French, yeah? Basic French, okay? So the employer is torn, for example, maybe me and you here, the employer is torn in between choosing you or me. So the employer will just be forced to choose you, okay? Just because of the mere fact that you actually have some proficiency in either French or German, okay? Remember, if a country is speaking different languages, an employer might actually be able to actually choose between both of you. Let's say everything else, all other factors kept constant, the employer might actually choose you. But here is the case. Remember, in Luxembourg, there are also international companies where they actually require people who actually speak fluent English, okay? So if you just speak French and German, Remember also, you'll not be able to work, for example, for multinationals only, because English is one of the main languages that is actually spoken there, even though they have their own language, which is Luxembourgish. Okay? I don't know
Okay.
if I've actually answered your question.
Yes, you have. Thank you. You
Yeah.
can go ahead.
Is there any other question in the comment section or in the chat?
So you guys, if you have a question before he dive into our main topic, you can ask a question in the comment, and then we're going to try and answer the questions before we continue. Any questions? So just continue. If I see any question, I'll just highlight it on the banner.
So, as I had earlier stated, right now the unemployment, Luxembourg has the least amount of unemployment rate in the EU and one of the highest GDPs in the EU. Then here comes the question. It's a small country. Yes, it's a small country. I can actually see the questions. I'm sorry, I'm going to answer them in a few. So here comes the question. Do Luxembourg actually require foreigners to actually work there? Yes, the question is yes. It's a small country, but they actually have a shortage of actually workforce. So they actually have to look for foreigners from outside, not just necessarily from the EU, but also from outside. Okay, because countries also love the fact that when you actually employ foreigners from outside, you'll actually have the diversity aspect of a country. Okay. Remember also, Luxembourg also employs professionals. Okay, not just I don't know why you're smiling, but maybe it's
No,
the
I'm
comment
reading the
section.
comments. Just continue.
Yes. So the country also requires professionals from different fields. For example, teaching is one of the careers. Thank you for the question, Diana Musheru. So, can one get a teaching job there? Yes. Right? So you can actually go there and teach. As I had actually said, and this one is something that if you actually want to be a teacher, you should actually focus on. Remember, any country that actually has foreign languages or speaks different languages, English teachers are actually very marketable. Okay? For example, if you speak English, you can actually look for a teaching job in Luxembourg. Okay? Moving on swiftly. Basic German language is good to go. Yes. Remember, as I had actually told you, let's say, for example, you have the basic German. I don't know if it's A1 or something, right? It's A1, Pauline, right?
Yeah.
A1, right? Let's say, for example, you have A1. For me, I don't, for example, let's say I'm going to use the same example. For me, let's say, for example, I don't have the A1. Remember, if both of us are applying for the same job, you actually have an upper hand against me, okay? So the employer will actually go for you who actually speaks a foreign language other than English, okay?
Okay.
Tyra, right?
Yeah.
Yes. What are the chances of getting visa? Considering we do have an embassy here in Kenya. So Yusufu, the chances of getting a visa are actually very high. If I can use the word, let me use a scale of 1 to 5. So the scale would actually be either a 4 or a 4.5 for you to actually get a visa. Considering we do have an embassy here in Kenya. Yes, remember, in Kenya, maybe you don't have the Luxembourg embassy, but they actually share an embassy with the Belgian embassy. So you can either go to the Belgian embassy here in Kenya, either the Belgian embassy or consulate. Okay, I don't know which one is which, but I think there is an embassy.
Or
There's
they
a
can
Belgian
use
embassy in
VFS.
Kenya.
They can
Yes,
use
or you
VFS
can
or
actually use
TLS.
VFS Global. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, so your chances are quite high. And the visa does not cost, the Luxembourg Schengen visa just costs 80 euros, okay?
Sorry?
The Luxembourg Schengen visa
Okay.
costs just $80 or 80 euros. So they use the
80
euros, huh?
euros. Okay.
Yes. So any other question?
Yes, there's a question. It's there on the banner.
And which are some of the websites that one can use to get an English teaching job there? Thank you very much. I think, Diana, you're actually way ahead of me. you are a bit ahead of me in terms of what I actually wanted to talk about. So I'll actually talk about the websites in a few. Okay. So
Okay.
what are some of the most in-demand careers that are actually needed in Luxembourg? So number one, there is the IT courses. Okay. IT courses, and then we have business courses, for example, accounting, finance, economics, all those people actually needed. They require people also from the hospitality industry. They require people from the engineering, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or the STEM courses. And they also require people who can actually be technical professionals. They require people who can actually do manufacturing. Manufacturing goes with production, and they also require teachers. So, Diana, I'm actually going to share all the websites that you can actually apply for a job, even if maybe you do not speak German um, or French. Okay, so some of the courses we have actually talked about, they require people who can do management, credit and risk analysis, kitchen personnel, of which those ones are the people in the hospitality industry. They require people who can actually do people in the business field, economics, finance, accounting, all those people are needed. And then IT courses, okay, IT professionals, and also engineering, core engineering professionals, basically people who have done science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, okay, the STEM courses. Then here comes the elephant in the room. Today, I just want to tackle the questions. The questions are actually what will actually, I'm actually going to tackle the questions. I'm going to take my time in tackling the questions. So, if I can actually just delve into the question in terms of the websites, okay? So number one, I'm sure this one is a no-brainer. Of course, we have LinkedIn, okay? LinkedIn is one of the best websites and applications that you can actually find uh, jobs from any country, okay? Remember, for you, you actually need a professional LinkedIn profile that is actually going to ensure that the employer will actually be able to think or actually have an awesome view of who you are. Okay. Remember, you have to customize your LinkedIn to actually be professional. Don't just have a LinkedIn that looks like a Facebook account. Remember, LinkedIn is a professional account where you meet professionals. Okay.
Okay.
I'd love to challenge each one and everybody of us who is here to actually go and look at their LinkedIn profile. Remember, LinkedIn is just like a CV. Okay. LinkedIn profile is just like a CV. Remember, you have to include even your volunteering activities. Okay. And remember, nowadays, employers do not just go for just anybody. Remember, if you've actually tied in terms of the academic qualification experience, okay, they have actually looked at your CV. You have the hard skills and the soft skills. They normally now go to some of the X factors. For example, do you volunteer your services? Have you ever thought about volunteering services? Or are you just money oriented? You cannot go anywhere and do, and give either a mentorship. You cannot give a free mentorship talk. Okay? Or are you just money oriented? You just want to go to Europe. Okay? Through fire and through any cost. You just want to go to Europe without actually volunteering. Okay? Yes, we have a Luxembourg embassy in Kenya. Yes, I didn't know about that. I didn't actually do my own research on that, but thank you very much, Margaret. We actually have a Luxembourg embassy in Kenya. So it's located Riverside Drive, Gate 111, Riverside Paddocks in Nairobi. Thank you, Margaret, for that. So as I was talking about, remember LinkedIn has to be professional. Okay, you have to include the courses you've studied. Remember, you also have to include the certificates that you have. And then the most important part, you have to have your CV, which is also in the LinkedIn profile. so that whenever you're applying for jobs, there are some jobs that you actually apply using just one click, known as easy apply. Okay. I hope we all have our LinkedIn profiles at the moment, so that when you go to LinkedIn and you either search teaching jobs in Luxembourg, they actually bring you all the employers who are actually employing right now. Thank you. Thank you for that. Then we have Indeed. Of course, Indeed is one, or the second one is Indeed. That one goes without saying. Okay. I'm not going to talk much about Indeed because I'm sure all of us know about Indeed. And then the third one is Glassdoor. Okay. We also have Glassdoor. And since most of us did not come here to listen to the mediocre stuff, those three websites or sites, I would actually call them mediocre, for lack of a better word, either ordinary, because all of us actually know about them. If you didn't know about them, you can actually write about them down. Then, for all the people who are actually doing ICT courses or IT courses, there is one website that I would actually advise you to actually visit. It's known as ictjobs.lu. Okay. The LU stands for Luxembourg. Okay. ictjobs.lu. Okay. For the people who actually, let's say, for example, you're a front end developer. Let's say, for example, you are a back end developer. Let's say, for example, you are a computer expert, computer programmer. Okay. You are a DevOps developer, all those IT courses, SQL, database managers, okay? You've studied Python, you've studied C++, okay? MongoDB, data management system, all those professionals who have actually studied all those courses. Remember, there are so many opportunities for you in Luxembourg, and it's one of the best countries to actually work on. Do unlearned. Okay. Do non-degree holders have a chance in Luxembourg? Asking for myself. Okay. Interesting question. So yeah, there are other, you can actually visit all these websites that I'm actually talking about. You'll also notice that, remember, every country in the world requires people who can actually do farming. For example, I've actually, with no pun intended, with no, no hard feelings, I did not mean, and I'm sorry to say this, I've not said that non-degree holders cannot do agriculture. Remember, agriculture is also mechanized, okay? So anybody can actually undertake agriculture. You can actually go and work as a production assistant there. You can actually work at the manufacturing and production departments there. You can either go do as a packer. You can actually work in the agricultural field. You can actually, there are so many industries in Luxembourg, okay, that anybody can actually work in, okay, and it does not hurt starting from anywhere, okay. It's also important that we also demystify the fact that only degree holders and people who have PhDs and masters can work elsewhere, okay. So as I was actually saying, we have other websites, for example, toplanguagejobs.com, okay. So we have another website which is known as toplanguagejobs.com. You can actually go and check the vacancies that they actually have in Luxembourg. And then we have another website which is en.jobs.lu, okay?
Sorry?
En, English, En, okay? en.jobs.lu. So basically, it's English jobs in Luxembourg. Okay, English speaking jobs for people in Luxembourg.
Can you pardon?
en.jobs.lu. Okay?
LU.
English jobs, yes, English dot jobs dot lu, Luxembourg, lu.
Okay.
lu. Then we also have another awesome website, expertica.com. just the way I'm stating it, Expertica, expert, but okay, expertica.com. I'm actually going to share all the websites with your lovely host. Okay, your lovely host is actually going to pin them in the description of the video for all of you to actually go try your luck. Okay, then we have eurocareers.com. Eurocareers.com, that's also another website. And I'm actually now going to give one of my favorite job search engines or job search website in Luxembourg. So it's moviejobs.com. Movie jobs. Okay? MOOVI jobs.com. Teacher, you're too fast. Okay, I'm going to repeat. Okay. So as I was actually talking and saying, one of my favorite job search or job websites that you can actually search for jobs in Luxembourg is moviejobs.com. So it's not the movie where you're actually watching a movie, for example, the Netflix movie. It's MOOVI, then jobs.com. That is one of the best websites to actually go hunting. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, our lovely host. Yeah. So that one is one of the awesome websites that you can actually go have a look at it, do a little bit of some research inside there. And they actually have, okay, this is just a tip I'm actually giving you. They actually have even internship opportunities. So if you're a recent graduate, you can actually attend one of their career fairs, which is actually, I'm actually from that website right now, and I can actually tell you, they have a career fair where you can actually attend, okay? And also, okay, I'm actually going to read the comment in a few. So another website, I actually have like 10 websites. Another website is jobsinluxembourg.eu, okay? Okay, jobsinluxembourg.eu. Then you can also go to Monster Jobs, okay? Monster. There is one which is Monster Jobs, okay? You can actually just go Google Monster Jobs in Luxembourg, okay? Then I'll actually delve to I'm actually going to answer this question here. I once learned that multiple positions one has held in the past might work to an applicant's disadvantage. A potential employer may think one is a job hopper. Please shed some light on the same. So I'd love to shed some light on this issue. Okay. So one, here comes the question. If an employer asks you, for example, let's say, for example, you have applied, you've been called for an interview. So when you look at your CV, there are some things you should actually have. There are some questions you should actually have at your fingertips. Okay. Number one, if you've actually been job hopping, you need to be able to actually explain why you actually have so many multiple positions in your, or gaps. Okay. So there's gaps and then multiple positions. Number one, if you're employed on contract, remember you can actually say, I was actually employed a 1 year contract. Okay. I actually was employed on contract for 1 year. Okay. And that one will actually have assisted you in terms of you explaining why you're job hopping. Okay. Then it is also advisable to actually check the requirements of a certain job opportunity. Okay. So if they require 3 years, you need to have at least at least you should have worked for at least 3 years. Coming, because the employer is looking for that. Then you have an answer for each job. Let's say, for example, if you've worked a place for 6 months, you should have a reason as to why you actually worked at a place for 6 months instead of 2 years or 1 year or all that. So you should expect that question. Okay. So for me, this is just my own personal opinion. It might be of disadvantage depending on the employer. But remember, if you've also worked for multiple organizations or for multiple positions, remember you have different work cultures. Okay, not everything is negative. Remember, remember, something can actually be positive and can also be negative. Okay, so you might be asked, why have you held multiple positions? You say, I love working at a place where I'm actually challenged professionally. So I left this job because I wasn't challenged professionally. And then you say the other one was a contract. Their contract actually ended. And then you talk about this one. You talk about you did not, for example, there was no position for you to actually transition to. Maybe you are not transitioning to what your interest or what your goals are professionally. Okay. Remember, you have to answer the question in a professional manner, in a way that the employee is actually going to understand that you are not actually just leaving jobs for the sake of leaving jobs. Okay. And don't say that you're actually leaving work to look for greener pastures. Okay. When you just say that, the employer will just know that you're not somebody who can actually stay. Most employers want you to work for a contract maybe 3 years, and they see in your CV maybe you've worked for 1.5 years. The longest time you've worked is 1.5 years. Remember, you have to have all those answers at your fingertips. Okay? Moving on swiftly. I don't know why today I can see the chat and the comments. I don't know why. Then, remember, in Luxembourg, you actually have to change your CV so that it can actually fit the Luxembourg job market, or the employers in Luxembourg have a specific requirements for a cover letter and for a CV. Okay. If you're here and you actually need to be assisted in terms of that, you can actually contact me. I can actually do that for you. Okay. Remember, you cannot apply for a job in Luxembourg with your CV that you've actually drafted in there, based on the Kenyan employers and based on the Kenyan market. Remember, each and every employer requires your CV to be tailor-made in a specific way, and it has to have the keywords. Okay? Yeah. Maybe now we can actually have the questions, because I think I've actually talked a lot. So I'm sure most of you will actually want me to maybe repeat on the job websites. So we said number one.
No, they can ask questions. If there's any repetition they need you to do, then you're gonna do it.
Okay.
So guys, you have a chance to ask question, and there's this one question. I don't know how to answer it.
So this is.
Do you have an idea? I should give it an answer.
Yes, I have an idea. So, so the question is, if Kenyan citizens can be au pairs in the UK. So the au pair program, basically, it's an exchange program where people go to, an exchange program that basically, for example, if Kenya is a speaking English country and the UK is an English speaking country, you'll not be able to actually go to the UK to actually be an au pair. Okay? So the answer is an outright no. Okay?
So Kenya, do you mean we can also not be au pairs in Canada? We can be in Canada and also the US, right?
Yeah. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I hope I've actually answered your question.
So can you repeat the websites?
Yes. So number one, If you're in the ICT career, IT people, all my IT gurus, the website is here for you. ictjobs.lu. So when I just say LU, just know it's a website that is basically talking about Luxembourg. Okay, LU, Luxembourg. The first two letters, LU, Luxembourg. Okay, ictjobs.lu. We have Indeed. Okay, I'm sure when I just say Indeed, you can go just Google Indeed jobs in Luxembourg, and then you'll actually see them. We have Glassdoor. I'm sure most of us know about Glassdoor and the jobs in Glassdoor. One of my favorites is LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn. I'm sure most of us, since we are all professionals here, have a LinkedIn account. And I do not mean that you just have a LinkedIn account. It has to be professional, okay? A professional LinkedIn account that you actually use to apply jobs, okay? Actually, LinkedIn has so many jobs. Then we have toplanguagejobs.com. Okay, I don't know if those ones are 5. Those ones are actually 5. Okay, the fifth one is toplanguagejobs.com. I think it's 6. Yeah, 6 if I'm not wrong, 6 or 5. Then we have EN, English, EN, the first letters of the word English, the first two letters, EN dot jobs dot LU, which is Luxembourg, EN dot jobs dot LU. Okay. Then we have expertica.com. Yes, en.jobs.lu. Right. Thank you, our lovely host. Then we have eurocareers.com. Eurocareers.com. Okay. Then we have moviejobs.com. That is one of the best websites each one of us should actually be right now. MOOVI. Then jobs.com. Okay. MOOVI jobs.com. Then the other one, jobs in Luxembourg.eu. Okay. Jobs in Luxembourg.eu. Where? Okay. I'm sweating. .eu. Then we have LinkedIn, as I had actually said. So I don't know if we have all gotten all the job websites. I don't know if we have all gotten the websites. So what if I apply the visa under the Tier 5 Visa Youth Mobility Scheme? So Ashtaira, remember, as I've actually told you, if you're actually going as an au pair, remember you'll not be able to actually remember you won't be able to work in the UK. You won't be able to actually go to the UK as an au pair. You can only apply for jobs, okay, under the visa sponsorship. Those ones are jobs and not au pair programs, okay?
So you need a job for you to apply for the visa and the Tier 5,
yes,
right?
Yes, okay. Yes. Any
so
other
guys,
question?
you have a chance to ask question because we'll have to check time. If you have any question, please ask. If you haven't liked this live, please do so and try to share also. Why is everyone laughing? So Nidina is saying, Pauline, about the unskilled job in Canada, please redo a video step by step on how to apply. I need a tutorial for clarification, kindly. Okay, I'll do that, Dina. I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. So do we have jobs in automotive technician for automotive
Yes.
technician in Luxembourg.
Yes. I have
Oh,
actually talked about all the websites where you can actually find jobs. Okay.
okay.
So the mechanic 254 automotive jobs are actually so many in Luxembourg.
So Yusuf is saying, thank you. Effort is not in vain. Yeah, so when you get this information, the only thing that you can do to yourself, the only justice that you can do to yourself is to go to those websites and try to apply for those jobs. Try to apply as many jobs as you can. I had someone saying if you have it, for you to get a one or two jobs interview, you need to apply for at least 500 jobs. So if you have if you have applied for only two or one and you're saying that I've always applied and I don't get, then you need to rethink. Okay?
Then,
And this website, you can try the one that will work for you. But the most important thing is make sure you have a LinkedIn account. It's very important and it's very easy to create. It's like creating your Facebook account, but now you have to add a lot of information about your experiences and all that. Again, with the Canadian uh, CV or resume, I came to learn that you don't add reference. It's not like us. You cannot add reference. And I'll try to do a video on the same on how you can do the Canadian resume because there are a lot of things that are so different from how we do our resume, like the Kenyan way.
yeah,
So, and that is one thing that you have to know. They will not take your CV if it's not to their standards.
yes, yes.
There's a question
So
from
I'm
Winnie
actually going to
Amuza.
share another fun fact. So
There's a question.
if you've actually stayed with us until this point, and you'd actually want to actually go to Luxembourg, let's say, for example, you've applied for jobs and you've actually not gotten a job, but Luxembourg is one of the best countries or one of your dream countries. You can actually go to Luxembourg as a student. So, one of my favorite universities in Luxembourg is, I don't know how to actually pronounce it, but it's LUNEX, LUNEX. Okay, I just know it as LUNEX. So, it's the International University of Health, Exercise, and Sports. Luxembourg International University of Health, Exercise, and Sports. Okay,
Okay.
this is one of the best universities that you can actually go to. It's one of the best universities because it has the best lecturers, it has the best facilities in Luxembourg. Okay, and the beauty is that they actually have their own openings very soon. So they require documents. They require a copy of your passport, birth certificate, where applicable, a copy of your resident permit issued in another EU member state if the applicant already resides in the Schengen area. So, if applicable, then an extract from applicant's criminal record. So, what do I mean by the criminal record? You have to have the good conduct certificate. Okay. Then, proof of admission to a university, to the Lanex University. Okay. Can I shock you? Now let me shock you about this good university. The only documents they asked me were my degree certificate, my transcripts, my passport, and then my medical record. Just imagine. And maybe my IELTS certificate. Just 5 things. Remember, other universities ask for motivational letters. You know, motivational letters. They ask about your statement of purpose. They asked about, they ask for so many things. Okay. They even ask you for a project proposal. They even ask if you have a project proposal so that they can actually see if you actually meet some of their standards. Okay? The beauty about Lanex University. Lanex, Lunex. Lanex University, it's in Luxembourg. Okay? I'm sure most of us just know about the University of Luxembourg. Okay? So the other university is also in Luxembourg. despite the country being this small. Okay? Yeah.
There's a
And
question.
okay. Can one come
Can
with a
one come
visit
with a
visa
visit
and change to
visa?
work visa? Or potelea in there and hustle around the African way? Wow. You people have very good, interesting questions. Ah, yeah. Okay. So, number
Next.
one, Luxembourg is one of the best countries that you can actually visit. Okay. The other part, I'm actually not going to be able to talk about it right now because of some few issues. But through hell, through fire, through storms, through anything, you have to survive and be in Luxembourg. I wish you all the best. Yeah. Many countries outside Africa don't recognize our education. Please talk about that. So Yusufu, there are some countries, okay, not many countries outside Africa, okay? Remember, for you to actually prove that you've actually studied, you must have documents that actually prove that, okay? Let me give you a good example. Let's say, for example, you've studied, which course should I use? Let's say, for example, you've studied IT. Then maybe the university offers you an entrance exam. Remember, some universities also have an entrance exam, okay? Some universities actually, before they actually offer you a scholarship, some conduct an entrance exam. And then you are told, for example, to design something, and then you cannot design. You've actually told them that you've actually done Python, and then they give an exam on Python or Python. And you cannot answer even the basic questions. Let's say, for example, you cannot answer question A. Do you expect to answer question B or C? You can't. So that is why sometimes these countries or some universities do not actually recognize education, the African education system. But I can actually tell you for free. Even in Kenya, for example, in Kenya, we have people who have actually studied in Oxford University. So this one should actually tell you that Africa does not, it's not a myth that Africa also has very good scholars. And this is not also something to actually make you, lose sleep. Let's say, for example, you've done a course. Remember, you can always transition to a better course. It all depends on how you actually explain yourself. I was actually talking about this like a minute ago or in the previous live, okay? There is no way you can do a course in nursing and then come and tell a scholarship panel that you want to do a course in engineering. Please, some things are just preposterous and outrageous, okay? Preposterous and outrageous. And that is so opaque, okay? Don't be opaque, okay? Moving on swiftly. You can actually transition from a course that is actually related. Let me give you a good example. Right now, the Lunex University is actually giving scholarships, okay? You can apply for a fully funded scholarship. It's known as Lunex, L-U-N-E-X, Lunex University, okay? Luxembourg International University of Health, Exercise, and Sports, okay? So let's say, for example, you've done physiotherapy. You can come and do you can come and do sports management, okay? Let's say, for example, you've done a course in nursing. You can come and do the same masters in sports management, masters in sports science, okay? They have all those courses here. The beauty about these universities is that they have a foundation diploma. For example, let me give myself as an example. For me, I've done engineering. I don't have any background in health, sports, or fitness, or any course in medical field, in the medical science field. I can actually do a foundation course that is actually going to set me up to actually continue or further my studies in that field, if that is the line of course that I want to undertake. Okay, so we need the university is Lanex University, Luxembourg University of Health, Exercise, and yes, and sports. Thank you, Lanex University. It's there in the comment section. Then this is a golden opportunity. Thank you for actually listening to me. It does not mean that I know that much, but it's my humble wish to you guys that I also challenge you. Remember, Movie Jobs has over thousands of jobs in Luxembourg. Okay. And jobs.lu has skilled and unskilled jobs. For the people who are actually asking me about good. So Ruth Cherobon, I've actually explained it and said they have a diploma course. Okay. They have a diploma course that is related to sports, fitness, and exercise and health. Okay. So when you just visit the website, you can actually apply. Okay.
Official. I think she's asking, must you have a degree to qualify Amawa to work on a diploma? I don't know if she's asking about the job or the scholarship.
Even the jobs.
Okay.
The actually jobs, I've actually talked about it right now and said we have skilled jobs and unskilled jobs. Okay. So when you go to the skilled jobs, remember each and every job has its own requirements, okay, that you actually have to meet. So just go. If the employer is requiring you to have a diploma, apply for the job. If the employer is also requiring, for example, or you are willing to actually start at an unskilled level, you can actually start from there. And let us also demystify the fact that it is a must that if you are a degree holder to actually apply for jobs that are for degree holders. Remember, you can actually start from somewhere. I have a very short story to actually motivate you guys. Remember, you can actually go for an unskilled job and the opportunities open up while you're still at work. Okay. Let's say, for example, you've gone to work in a manufacturing company. And let's say, for example, you've done accounting and maybe the accountant there leaves the job. Remember, they'll actually consider you as a first priority because you've actually worked with them. Okay. Let us also demystify that fact that if you have a master's or a PhD, you cannot go for other jobs because maybe of your ego and, okay, your attitude and your ego. Okay. I've not said that if you have a PhD, you'll not get a job. I've actually said it's an eye opener. Okay. Thank you, Yusufu. I can actually see the comment. Thank you very much. I'm humbled. I'm humbled by your comments.
So, guys, I guess we are coming to the end of the live. So, if you have a question, please ask so that we can try to answer your questions. We have like 5 minutes actually to end the live. Thank you so much, Official, for educating us or giving us the insight on how we can on how we can immigrate to that country. LU.
Luxembourg, eh?
Let me
Okay.
call it LU. I've learned a new term. It's a bit easier for me. LU. So there's someone, Dennis is asking, do they have hospitality jobs?
Yes, I've actually talked about that right now. Remember, if you've done a hospitality course, either you are a hotel manager, either you are a kitchen staff, okay? Okay?
So there's
all those jobs are actually available in Luxembourg. You just need to visit all those websites, okay? And remember, this is just a challenge I'm going to give you. One of those websites has direct employers and agents, okay? Agents who are actually employed by the company to actually look for you, okay? And I've actually talked about it. If you are keen enough, you actually heard me saying about that one. So I'll actually delve into the questions. What's the difference between jobs requiring skilled and unskilled workers. So basically, skilled workers, somebody who has a technical skill in a specific kind of a field, they have the experience. Okay, they have the experience. Okay, maybe 5 years, 10 years experience. That is a skilled worker. They have the hard skills. Okay, they have the hard and the soft skills also. Let me put it in that aspect. The unskilled workers are people who are fresh green, okay, in an industry. If I can use those terms, okay. I hope I've actually answered your question, Lady Onyonyo, right?
So if I don't have experience, I am an unskilled worker.
Yeah, unfortunately,
What if I'm a high
unfortunately.
school graduate and I don't have like a diploma or degree? Am I also an unskilled worker? Do we fall
You'd
the same
actually,
category with those who have done maybe diploma and they don't have experience, and those people who haven't done any of those courses?
here comes the facts on the table. I'm actually going to lay the facts on the table. If you are fresh, if you are fresh guy, okay. If you are fresh graduate, if you are fresh graduate, remember you do not have any experience. Okay,
Okay.
so it would actually be very difficult for you to actually convince an employer that you can actually do the job of a skilled worker. That is why I'll give a very good example in my field. If you are a graduate engineer, you cannot receive the same amount of payment with a professional engineer. Professional engineers, some of them have 20 years of experience. Maybe you just have 0 years of experience. You cannot go and ask for the same as expected salary as a professional engineer. It's preposterous and outrageous. It shows you've not done your research and you actually don't know what the industry demands of you. Okay?
So let me ask you a question. For
Yes.
example, there's a job in LU, cleaning job. Okay,
Yes.
there's a cleaning job in LU, and I only have a high school diploma, but I've worked as a cleaner before. So am I termed as skilled worker or unskilled worker?
Thank you. So, uh, that one is a little bit tricky. Okay. So, remember, this is just a fact for you to note. You're actually skilled in that specific industry. So, remember, being skilled or unskilled depends also on the industry. Okay.
Okay,
Let's
sure.
say, for example, you are a student and you've actually graduated. Let's say, for example, you have a degree either in nursing. Okay.
Okay,
If you have a degree in nursing, remember you will just maybe start from that is why there is an internship program so that you can actually start gaining the necessary skills. Okay. So if you're actually skilled in being a cleaner, you can actually apply for the skilled cleaners. Okay.
okay,
But I'm sure the cleaning job is actually part of a specific industry, maybe the hospitality industry. Okay.
okay. That's
So
okay
it
for the clarification, because for me all along I thought unskilled workers are those people with no diplomas, like you have nothing. I didn't know that you can have a diploma with no experience and be termed as unskilled.
that is the shocker tonight. That is the shocker for you tonight.
Yeah, but at least I've learned something. So we have actually 1 minute before we end the live. Thank you so much for everyone who came in. So you have a chance to give this live a like, because I guess we are more than 25, and you just need to give it a like, and we can call it a day. Thank you so much, our guest, positive, official positive, for giving us the information on how we can immigrate to LU. I've learned a lot also, and I guess everyone else here have learned something. If you have more question, you can leave you can leave your question on the comment section of this live, because it will be on YouTube also, and then in future maybe we can look into it. Other than that,
So
thank you
so
so
let me
much.
let me let me do a little bit of some clarification.
Okay.
So I think this is something I should actually clarify.
Mhm.
So work that does not require a certain set of skills, okay, or formal education may be termed as unskilled labor. Okay, your question
So
was kind of tricky.
cleaner.
Your question was kind of tricky because cleaners
Mhm.
and clerks and cashiers are classified as unskilled workers.
Yeah, actually, there's this job I was looking into today in one of the Canadian websites, and this is what they said. There was a job offer for cleaners, but they had stated you don't need to have experience, but you should have knowledge the on the detergent. I don't know how to call them. I
Yeah,
don't know how to call
cleaning detergents.
Yes, you have to have an idea or knowledge of them. So I guess unskilled worker. I'll go with the definition that you've given us now. I guess that's the best
Mhm.
definition so far.
Yeah.
So
So
guys,
for
we
me,
can.
all along, what I know is unskilled work. If you don't have experience or the training to do any job, remember that one is unskilled work. And maybe the job does not require formal education. For example, cleaning. I think anybody can be a cleaner. That is why I was saying anybody can actually go for the unskilled job, okay? Despite the fact that you actually have either a diploma, a degree, or a master's or a PhD, okay? And it
Okay.
does not mean that unskilled workers are not respected, okay?
Okay.
This is
So
just a
guys,
fun fact. Butchers are highly paid. And remember, butcher, if you are actually a butcher outside, you actually deal with machinery. Okay? It
yeah.
is not rudimentary like the slaughtering, the physical slaughtering that is done in Africa. Okay? They're actually mechanized. Even the packing, slaughtering, packaging, washing, everything is mechanized. Okay? So people should not take unskilled jobs or unskilled workers segment as people who are actually not learned, or it's just a demystification. Okay, I'd love to demystify that. Okay.
Okay, so I guess now we can end the live. Thank you so much for everyone who joined. Let's hope we're going to have another live maybe soon. What do you think we should talk about in our next live?
We should talk about New Zealand because New Zealand is one of the best countries that you can actually visit also and work. And if anybody did not know this, they have visa sponsorship jobs in New Zealand.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay, so Lydia, you're welcome, and everyone else who have taken their time to comment, to say something, to participate, to like the live, to share. I hope you've got what you expected, and we'll continue with this segment. I love when we come here on YouTube because this live will not go anywhere. You can still come and rewatch it. I'll try to link the jobs website under the description of this video so that it will be easy for everyone to look at those websites and try to apply to as many jobs as you can. Otherwise, let's call it a day. Bye bye. Thank you for coming. Blessed night, Mungai. Margaret. Mungai Diaries. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. So let me see. I'm waiting for your good night comments. How should I end it? Good night, Ashtray.